Hey gamers, I wanted to do a quick, we'll see how quick it is, follow-up video to my Halo 5 review I just released, in which I wanted to talk about why I felt exactly the story of Halo 5 failed. I had a whole long spiel cut out of my review because it was just taking way too long, and I thought I'd just make a separate standalone video. So this might be off the cuff and less scripted, but this stuff interests me, guys, and I've said it before, if it interests me, I want to share it, and hopefully it'll interest some of you out there. 343 Industries really wanted us to care about all of the Spartans and their causes, but they really gave us no reason to do so. In-game, there was very little backstory given to any of the characters, even the main characters. The only way to know about the members of Master Chief's Blue Team was to have read the novel The Fall of Reach, which came out years ago. And I'm sure there have been some comic book tie-ins and other things to catch you up on that as well, but you wouldn't have known that just playing the game. Spartan Locke was the main character in the web series Halo Nightfall, but hardly anybody watched it because it was boring. And as far as the time between Halo 4 and Halo 5 goes, to fill the gap, there was a podcast released called Hunt the Truth, and it was really good. It was a serialized sort of thing. The acting was great. The story was great. It had a reporter uncovering Oni cover-ups when it came to what Master Chief was actually doing between the games. Have you ever even heard of it? I didn't think so. Even after knowing all of that myself, I still felt like something was missing. And okay, this is the 5th main game in the series, and there have been plenty of other supplemental pieces of story, canon and not, that have accumulated over the past 14 years. But it's the very first game for the Xbox One. This Christmas we'll be getting a lot of Christmas noobs, as they're called, a lot of young kids who got their Xbox for Christmas, got Halo 5 for Christmas. I think back to when I was 11 and I first played the first Halo, and how much I loved it. I loved the look of it, I loved the gameplay, and I especially loved the Covenant and their hierarchy and the lore and how deep they went into it in Halo 2. Of course, I was 14 by then, but regardless, Bungie wrote a good story around them. Would a 12-year-old who just picked up Halo 5 be as interested in this story as I was from playing Halo 5 alone? I don't think so. Of all the Halo games, Halo Reach is my favorite. It was the last Halo game made by Bungie, and it was a prequel to Halo Combat Evolved. And if you've known anything at that point about how Halo started, you know that the Covenant War started on the planet Reach, and that was the first colony planet to be destroyed by the Covenant. So, going into that game, you already knew everyone dies. And it was up to Bungie to make you give a damn about the cause of those characters, and they succeeded by miles. The reason they succeeded in making you care about those characters is because you got to know and relate to each and every single one of them. All 5 other members of Noble 6 you cared about. They talked with the character, they talked to each other, they talked about their problems, their feelings. You saw their strengths and weaknesses, you saw what they were good at, you saw what they were afraid of, and you saw them act heroically till the end, including your player character, who dies fighting a squadron of Covenant elites protecting probably the most valuable asset in the Halo games, and then fighting to avenge not only his fallen teammates but his home planet. So why was Bungie able to succeed where 343 failed in Halo 5? Just the energy devoted to the characters. I mentioned in the review, the only character I really liked was Nathan Fillion's character, Buck. Buck is a returning character, actually, from Halo 3 ODST. So if you had played that, you knew about that. If you didn't, well, they mentioned it slightly in the game, but that's just a big problem. Halo 5 takes so much for granted from you as a fan, that it doesn't care to put up the energy to invite new players along into the story. The characters really serve as fan service. I didn't say it in the review, but spoilers. You meet up again with the Arbiter. What does that mean? Who's the Arbiter? Who cares? He's an elite. Who's Lansky and who's Spartan Palmer, and who gives a damn about Catherine Halsey, and why is she missing an arm? The answers to those questions are, if answered at all, are just glossed over to get to the next shooting gallery. Also in the review, I talk a little bit about the gameplay mechanics, the ordering your squad around. And I didn't really get into it much in the review because I was really pressed for time, but man, they botched that too. I compared it to, just briefly, let's go with Mass Effect. Dragon Age is a more recent one that I can probably think of, but Mass Effect fits the sci-fi shooter genre. And even then, you get to know those characters personally, and I don't just mean f***ing them. You get to know those stats and build up those stats and then utilize them on the battlefield strategically. Like I said in the review, Halo just gives you the two options. The whole squadron go to that point, or everybody take down that one target. I had a huge problem with the boss fight in Halo 4, though I kinda get it, the ending was good. And then Halo 5 messes it up to bring back, spoilers, Cortana. Okay, great. I didn't mind that Dr. Halsey was in it. Jen Taylor's awesome. But if they keep wanting to bring back Cortana, yet again, I said it in the review, you only play as Master Chief for a third of the game. The rest of it, you're spent shooting him up as Spartan Locke. Spartan Locke doesn't care about Cortana. Master Chief does. And when you're playing Master Chief, you do, the player. But since you were playing as Master Chief, you were chasing Master Chief, why care about Cortana? And the ending was lukewarm. I wasn't sure if it was a cliffhanger or not. It just kind of farted out. Cortana was treated kind of like an antagonist, but the main protagonist was basically a servant puppet for her called the Warden. And you encounter him as an enemy like 3 separate times, and each time he's treated like a boss. After the first 2 times he gets defeated, he disappears. The boss battle really doesn't even feel worth it. As much as I'm complaining about this game, I really like it. I said it in the review. Gamers who have lived with characters for a decade and a half, and more, some characters, but in the case of Master Chief, 15 years almost. It wasn't like it was before, back when he was just the empty vessel that let players fulfill their superhero, invulnerable fantasies. No, over the course of 15 years, he has become, more or less, a person. And after the end of Halo 4, they basically threw the only humanizing aspect to his character, Cortana, and his relationship to Cortana, out the window. And I feel like they were scrambling to fit it back in. At least they're not doing it right. I know writing scripts for video games is hard. Typically, the script is one of the last few things you worry about when developing a game. What matters first is the technology and the mechanics. But aren't we beyond this now? By now? If you have some thoughts, I'd love to hear them. That was just my thoughts on this. I just wanted to make a video and get it out there. Just to kind of talk more about my thoughts without the frame of a video game review. I just wanted to critique the story. Let me know what you think. If you want more little side videos like this that end up being 15 minutes long again, let me know. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Ravel, a geek out of place. See ya.